Let me tell you a quick fact. Software has the highest perceived value and it often sells like hotcakes. But even more popular is anything to do with WordPress. Why? Well, this is because a WordPress site needs plugins to run efficiently. Plus, there's so many different types of sites out there, everything from general information, niche markets, to e-commerce, local businesses, direct sales, and more. Because there are so many different needs, there are untold different demands for paid plugins. At the end of the day, people would rather pay for software to automate their life than doing things manually, which eats time out of their day. Time is money, and people understand that. Now, here's the big problem. Most people that aren't programmers don't know how to create software and don't know where to start. They are even afraid of going into business. This is because they don't know how to turn ideas into software and maintain it. Or worse, they buy other courses that show them how to hire a programmer and skip the crucial process. Now, contrary to belief, you really need to know how to turn an idea into a document that tells your programmers what to do. And having this document will actually make it easier for you to get a program done, even if you have no knowledge of software development. So to avoid putting you into the same position, we are going to show you how to do it the right way. However, you can finally get over this roadblock. Announcing a 9-part step-by-step video course that shows you how to quickly and easily create your own hot-selling WordPress plugin, even if you don't know a single line of code starting today. This isn't just another video product or video course with a bunch of theory. It's taken from actual true results from working in successful WordPress plugin launches. This step-by-step 9-part video course takes you by the hand and shows you how to take a simple idea and turn it into a simple yet hot-selling WordPress plugin. After watching this video course, you should be easily able to bypass the biggest roadblocks that most newbies jumping into business face. Here's a quick list of the 9-part video course in more detail. Video number 1 is the introduction. Video number 2 is research. Video number 3 is verifying your idea. Video number 4 is digging deeper. Video number 5 is determining what your software does. Video number 6 is list to flow. Video 7 is user interface design. 8 is writing your specifications. And 9 is finding the right programmer. So with that said, go ahead and grab this video course today and learn how to turn your profitable idea into a WordPress plugin specification that you can hand to your programmers. Hey, and congratulations on getting access to this video course. We're going to talk about how to turn your idea into a WordPress plugin. Now, we're not really going to talk about hiring anybody or anything like that. We're going to talk about a very crucial process that most people tend to forget about. So a lot of people tend to go from idea to trying to hire a programmer. And that's the wrong way to go about this. And the reason being is because a lot of times, if you do not write your idea and turn that into the necessary project specifications that a programmer would understand, your costs will actually be higher, or you will get a lousy programmer that will say, yes, I can do that. I can program your idea. And then months later, you find out that the programmer doesn't know what they're doing and it's just a mess. So that's the reason why this is a process where we want to take the idea and turn it into a visual flow chart. We want to develop the user interface, and we want to figure out how to communicate that properly to the right programmer. By doing this, you're going to attract the right programmer instead of the wrong programmer. All right. So first things first, this is video number 1, which is the introduction. And I want to start by talking about a goal. The goal here, like I said, is to create project specifications that any programmer will understand. Yes, this process might be a little boring, but it's going to save you a lot of money. Instead of spending thousands of dollars, you could be spending, $500 or even $1,000 in the long run. Instead of wasting time and actually this taking 4 to 5 months to create, you could save time. So this is all about how to save time and money by doing things right. Get this wrong, and like I said, you're going to pay more. You're going to attract low-skilled people that are going to say, yes, I can do anything. And you're not going to know what to do. You're going to say yes, you're going to give in, and you're going to get the wrong person. So I want to make sure that you get this right, and you're going to pay less and attract the right person for this job. So quickly, I want to talk about mindset first. I really want you to focus on how the software solves a problem. Don't focus on how much money am I going to make or how profitable is this going to be. Focus on how the software solves a problem. And yes, that's fine when you're trying to figure out what the software is going to be about. You want to make sure that it's going to be profitable, but at the same time, you want to make sure that it solves a major problem, because that's where your money is going to be. So solution comes first, money will follow later. Now, here's a quick overview of what's inside this video course. Video 1 is obviously this particular video. Video number 2 is going to be researching a profitable plugin idea. So we are going to look at profitable plugins. We're going to look at why they are profitable plugins. So you can get an idea of what your best plugin is going to be. So if you have a plugin, great, you probably could skip this process, but it might be good to watch this so that you have an idea to make sure your plugin is profitable, right? If you don't have an idea, this is a great video for you. Video number 3 is verifying your idea. We're going to make sure that it is indeed profitable. Video number 4, we're going to talk about digging deeper. We want to analyze the situation so that we make sure that we are doing our due diligence. Video number 5 is determining what the software does, which is a crucial part. This is pretty much a make it or break it, because this is the reason why somebody is going to buy your plugin. Video number 6 is list to flow. We're going to take the list that we created in the previous video and we're going to map it out by creating a flowchart. And the reason being is because you want to see it text-wise in a list, you want to see it visually, and you want to see the user interface, which is video number 7. Video number 8 is writing your specifications. So basically the whole goal of this video course is to get to this point. And of course, last but not least, once you have your project WordPress plugin specification in hand, we move on to finding programmers in video 9. Now, I'm not really going to dive too much into this. I really want to focus on how to find the right programmer, what characteristics you should look for. I'm not really going to go to a site and show you how necessarily to hire somebody. That might be a topic for a different day. But what's crucial is what most people forget about is how do you find the right programmer? What to look for in a programmer. So that way you can create the right job post wherever you decide to go. Now let's talk about what you need to get started. Obviously, you're not going to need to have a lot of tools for this particular practice and process, but you're going to need a way to map things out, whether it be a flowchart system or a mind mapping software. We recommend Lucidchart, which is what we're going to be using. However, if you want to use a mind mapping software like Xmind or even a paper, if you are organized, that's fine. But we highly recommend Lucidchart just because it's really, really easy to map things out. And you'll see what I mean when I actually jump right in. And of course, you're going to need to have an open mind. A lot of people come into this thinking that they know a lot, or thinking that, oh, I've got this idea, I just want to jump straight in. No, none of that. You really have to come here with an open mind and with the thought process that, okay, profitability aside, money aside, let's focus on what problem that we are solving. Don't bring any assumptions, because assumptions are very dangerous. And they actually get us in trouble because we think we have an idea of how things work. So I want you to come here with an open mind, with the assumption that everything is being start from scratch. All right. All right. So ready? Let's go. Okay, so welcome back. This is video number 2, and we are going to talk about researching profitable plugin ideas. So don't worry about anything else except for getting an idea of what's out there and different ideas that you could potentially create. Now, obviously, if you already have a plugin in mind, you probably could skip this video, but it's a good video to watch just in case you decide to have another idea in the future. So let's do some quick research to show you what plugins are in demand by looking at what we call consumer demand. And that's really what drives whether or not your plugin is going to be profitable or not, whether or not there is a need out there. So there are 2 ways of doing this. Either there are many plugins out there already, and you can look at them and look what's wrong with them and see what people are saying and improve on that, which is actually the easiest way to go about doing this and can be very profitable. Or you can develop your brand new idea. Plugin doesn't exist or anything like that. But with that, it's a little bit more time to try to figure out consumer demand, but there are ways of going about doing that. So consumer demand is really, really important here. So I really want to drive that home. All great WordPress plugins are born out of problems that people are facing. So if this is a problem that you're facing, that's great. Then you can associate with that. You know exactly how that feels. If this is a problem that you do not face, but you can research it and figure out how people are feeling about it, what people are doing about it to solve that issue, and how your WordPress plugin can speed the process up, then that's a good thing as well. But you really want to get into the brain of the consumer. So let me go ahead and show you how to find consumer demand through the use of free keyword tools and how to start with Google and research from that point on. Now, before I jump in and start talking about consumer demand or anything like that, I want to talk briefly about what you should be looking for as you're looking for the consumer demand. Now, obviously, when it comes to any type of software or WordPress plugin, what you're trying to look for is you're trying to find some sort of tedious process that takes time, and it's a very manual process. So what I mean by that is something that somebody actually does either on their computer or wherever else, and it's just taking a lot of time, and you have to speed that process up, and they're willing to pay for the ability to speed that process up. All right, so if you look at most WordPress plugins, they basically speed a process up, or they help you in some sort of way. They basically take some process that could take anywhere from a couple hours to a couple days or even a couple weeks, and it speeds the whole process up, thereby saving you time. That's one of the reasons why most people buy pieces of software, because it automates the process. So as you're looking through for consumer demand, or as you're looking for plugins, you want to find something that is sort of a pain point, meaning it's really frustrating because you have to take all this time to actually do it. All right, so if we head back over to Google here, and if we think about it for just a second, if we think that softwares often are born from frustrations. So you can go to Google and type something like top frustrations and let Google complete it for you, such as top frustrations in life, top frustrations at work, top frustrations in gaming. So you could think about something you enjoy yourself, or something that you have done that takes time on the computer and you want to speed the process up. All right. But usually this process with a WordPress plugin needs to be something that is on your website. So top frustrations related to maybe your website. and then go from there and try to figure out what these top frustrations are. So if you just take some time to just go through the articles, so let's open up these here, and you may or may not find the WordPress plugin that you're looking for, but you're kind of getting an idea of what is happening on the website itself. So we can see like playing Messenger, lacking communication, changes, continuous edits. So maybe you could develop a WordPress plugin around that. Wavering deadlines, time management. You can develop a WordPress time management plugin. You can go through here. We can go to a different article here. So this is Quora, and we see this guy says providing high quality fresh content. Maybe you could develop a plugin that pulls in YouTube videos or content curation to make it so it's easy for people to develop content. Or maybe you can develop something that allows them to create fresh articles really, really fast without plagiarizing, of course. And then we go down and let's look at a different article. What are your top 3 frustrations with your website? Too much content that overwhelm the reader, user design and user experience, directing the user to the right content and workflow. So going through here, what you're looking for is a pattern. If you can see several people saying, I have problems because just finding fresh content is just a big roadblock in my life. If you see tons of people saying that, the next thing you want to do is you want to head on over to wordpress.org/plugins over here. And then you want to type that in. So we could type in something like time management and see what we get. So as we can see, a good amount of plugins, and we can see, if we can see more plugins, that means there is definitely a demand. Now, if you see a lot of plugins, but there's no feedback or ratings or anything like that, that might not be a good sign. But another thing you can do is you can see a lot of times you'll have like a really good plugin, but nobody leaves any reviews, right? So we got 4.5 stars out of 5, 22 reviews. But if you look down on the bottom left-hand corner of these boxes, you can see that 40,000 people installed it. All right, so that definitely shows there is a demand for that plugin. So if we look over here, easy appointments, 3,000 installs, 100,000 installs for events manager. So we can see the demand by looking at wordpress.org/plugins. But Jetpack here is obviously created by WordPress. So obviously they have 3 million active installs. So that means that 3 million people installed it on their WordPress site. So what you want to do is you want to go through here and find a WordPress plugin that really stands out to you. So let's say we want to click on this one here, and you want to get an idea of what it does. And then you want to take a look at the 1-star ratings. Why 1-star ratings? Because you want to find people's frustrations. You want to see if you can find a pattern. Now, if this WordPress plugin is really good and you're asking, how can I compete with these guys? Well, you can look at the 1-star ratings and see where this plugin falls short. If constantly people are saying this falls short because of this, and this, you can go out and create a WordPress plugin based on that particular shortcoming. And then you come out with it, and you know that it's going to sell because you have so many people that are frustrated. Now, obviously, you need to make sure that people are willing to buy for that. And we'll talk more about that later. But that's just a simple process that you can take by going to Google, typing in top frustrations website, or things I hate about my website, or something related to WordPress, and then find those and dig deep into those pain points. You can do the same thing with YouTube. You can do the same thing with Facebook. Use the search bar at the top and find frustrations that people have. So that's a good way to kind of figure out consumer demand in the terms of figuring out how many people are frustrated with the specific problem. And that's really what we're trying to drive home. All right, so let's move on to the next video.